It's also dealing with management in there, and according to the lease, specifically, it says you cannot have a drag show in the lease.
It says that?
Yes.
That's rather strange. But why would he want to do the event if he knew that in the lease it said he shouldn't have a drag show?
I don't know. Maybe he did know. I don't know. On that, I can't really answer that. I think that cancel. He just wanted to cancel the safety of the performers, and I think that it won't come back in some other form because he is a man of his word. He'll keep. The show will happen. It may not happen there, but it will happen somewhere. So that I believe.
But what I think you should do, I mean, if it was me in this situation, if you wanted to, this is what this is what RuPaul and a lot of the other people are now doing. They're putting these drag shows more in theaters. And even if you could put your show into small community theater and invite the community, regardless of how opposed they are, send an open invitation to the community in the city of Lake Wales to come and watch your show entirety in whatever you decide how you want to produce it. And I would say not to tone it down or nothing, but these, not a family-friendly show. You produce a show that you will do nightly. You know what we do with drag, and invite the community to an all-adult show. You don't need to be an all kids-friendly show for adult entertainment. And to hide what we do, just do the show the way you normally see the show in Orlando, or normally the way you would see comedians. There's no comedian coming in, walking around. You see Dave Chappelle, Martin, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart. These people curse continuously, but yet they fill up stadiums. And I think that this is something you need to do.
The thing is, though, there's a history of there have been drag shows in Lake Wales, and it's just something that we have a coalition already started that's doing exactly what you're suggesting. They are approaching the city council. There's city council meetings, by the way, the first and third Tuesday of the month at the city commissioner's office. It's on 201 West Central Avenue in Lake Wales. And the mayor of Lake Wales, whose name is Jack Hilligoss, he also works at the High Point Church. A lot of this is that we have all these church-going people that are in the Lake Wales government that are trying to legislate morality. And
well, how did they find out about your event?
Because it's blasted all over Facebook. It's all over social media. We did not get. We made this boom. It went everywhere. It went. I even put it on TikTok. So, I think myself, if I were the mall manager, I'd be like, well, thank goodness there'll be people coming to the mall. Maybe they'll stop in before the show, because the show itself started at 8. That was with Billy and me. And then at 10 o'clock, we brought out the drag. So maybe, because the mall's still open then, people might have went into Dillard's and bought something. They might have went into the food court and ate something. Okay? A lot of business. It doesn't make any business sense at all to, when you're in business, you don't see gay, you don't see straight. You see green. You see money. And
so, can I ask a question? Why? Can I just? Because for me, it's quite simple. Why did you go to the owner of this bar about the show, or did he approach you about doing the show?
He approached me.
Okay. Now, this would mean that he wasn't even thinking he must have known. I mean, anybody that runs a restaurant or has a lease, including whether your apartment lease or your business lease or whatever, you would know if they specifically said drag shows, because drag shows just came under fire in the last 2 years. So, I mean, if it was in his clause for him not to have a drag show, why try to have a drag show in this bar restaurant?
I don't know. They're looking at, there may be two separate leases. There's a lease dispute with the other bar because you can't lease out a business and then tell them, oh, by the way, you have to change it now. So I don't know. This is a whole lot of who shot John going on with the mall management there. So I can say this: the drag show was already going on. I was an add-on, and then they wanted me to start producing brunches once a week. But I was an add-on. I met with the owner. We had a nice conversation. He's a fabulous, ally. Very straight. And I will say this: he was easy on the eye. I want to say that. I call it as I see it. And so.
Well, it's a shame that we're having all these issues now with drag. I hope you can resolve that issue, but we have to remember, for us as the gay community and the drag community, we have to do these things boots on the ground. We have to fight from being active and making sure that we understand our rights, and they can't just keep us from either being employed or looking for employment or opportunities and being in spaces that we're invited into, whether it's to make revenue and what they consider lewd, we might not consider lewd. But we already know when you're over 21, you can see anything in the world that you want to see. You have the right to choose whether you want to go into these spaces that are either adult entertainment or adult entertainment friendly. And this is something that we should not be, we should have any issues. There's a reason they say you have to be 21 and over in the U.S. to go into clubs or go into adult spaces. And drag is part of that. So you're not here to police the children that go into the mall. If the place that you work in is an adult place, but after a certain hour it's child friendly because it's a restaurant and kids come in to eat hamburgers or whatever they're doing, french fries or whatever. But then at a certain time it becomes an adult space. Maybe there should be something clear on the front door that no kids are allowed. Nobody under 21 is allowed into the space after that. I don't know. I just think that to me, if it was me and I owned the place, I would have already understood my lease and nobody would stop me from holding any events that I wanted to hold in the space. 2, I would go right down to the city council office and understand what my rights were as a business owner and show them the lease and see if it excluded drag. And if it didn't exclude drag or this kind of entertainment in general, adult entertainment in general, because I think comedy could be considered lewd acts as well. Because you don't know what a comedian's going to say when they get into your establishment.
I'm going to say that I agree with that, but again, I think there's a lot of shenanigans going on with the management at the mall, and I think they're playing tricky things. And I'm not involved in that part of it, but I do know that the owner is standing with us. He is fighting it tooth and nail. And merely right now the event is postponed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, from what you're telling me, I can tell where the issue is, and I don't think it's Dillard's. I think it's probably the other bar. They're afraid that they're going to take all the business because drag will draw people out, and the gay community is known to support these kind of things. And people who are curious and people that are more open, like RuPaul's Drag Race has made drag sort of made people feel that they can just be who they want. So they'll be looking for these kind of spaces and events, and and the fact that the gay community in itself, with Beyonce doing the Renaissance tour and encouraging people to be themselves, and all these things that are now going around when me and you were fighting at the beginning, for our rights and what we wanted. And the kids are looking for these spaces. So I can see that the drag would bring more people out. And the fact that he kept you on, even as a comedian, means that he was thinking, I'm going to have to look into this a little bit more. But drag is, in the last 2 years, has been a hot spot. So I'm sure the owner of the club have seen all the controversy online about drag. I'm sure he didn't just say, let's have a drag show, without him being aware of what is being said and done with drag and drag laws. And mainly DeSantis is a very vocal person that's made his intentions very clear about Disney, about the way he feels about immigration, about the way he feels about the community and drag. So I'm sure that the owner of your club, it wasn't something new to him. I'm thinking this other club or this other bar in the mall has more to do with it, because they're worried about the competition and the fact that they know that a lot of their clients are probably talking about this drag show that's going to happen in this bar that's on the other end of the mall.
Well, I would say that's a fair point, but I also have to say that the Moms of Liberty are a very strong organization in Lake Wales.
Mm-hmm.
And what I see more than less that's happened is the Moms of Liberty went to these churches and took our flyers and said, we cannot have. I think there's a lot of factors going on there. Yes, the owner was aware of all the controversy and he was trying to give us a safe place to go. And he's been very supportive of it. And trust me this, that there will be a gay voice in there when I take over the comedy shows. Okay? I will be inclusive, straight, gay, whatever. Okay? If you are, and I'm going to bring in some good talent because he's given me good money to get good talent. This is not going to be an open mic. This isn't going to be anything, low key. This is going to be high class entertainment, top notch comedians. We're going to become one of the top notch comedian places in Central Florida. That's my goal.
Russell, not to cut you off, but this is what I would do. If I was the owner of the bar and you as the show director of this new club that you guys are trying to get going down there, and whether or not you're thinking about the direction that you want to go in with the club, I would, like I said before, for him and for you, I think you need to rent out a space that you can have drag in. A theater where they can't control that because drag is considered art. So that's your way of getting around that. And you could put the drag
doing that. We're looking for that now. We'll be doing that.
And then have the same owner of this bar and restaurant produce this show. This way, you can create a following. You can also invite the community, whether they come or they don't come. You put on a great show. You make sure that the police is there so they can visually see it. You invite the mayor of Lake Wales. You invite them so they can see. Don't try to hide the way drag is done, because that's not a good thing. Show what you want, how you want your show to be, whether it's a themed show or whether it's a comedy themed show and different a variety show, cabaret, whatever, and put on a show or something for the community. Let them see it for what it is, and then you put that. Once they see that, you'll have less opposition about what's going to go on in this nightclub, bar, restaurant, by the mall. And I think that is something that you need to do first instead of just outright complaining. You got to complain a little bit, but you got to put these shows into production and make them seen by the people of Lake Wales. And if you run and hide and you don't put these shows on right away, or you take too long to put them on, they figure they didn't run.
Well, we're not really running right now. He's just trying to launch the club, get it open, and we're doing the best that we can do with that. It is the entire city of Lake Wales. I actually even pulled up a map to see if the mall indeed was in the city of Lake Wales, because it's far, and there's part of the parking lot that isn't. But there's no building there. So I'm even trying to go through all the technicalities. I think that the show will happen. It just won't happen in September. So
it's okay. For me, I think that you are. I'm trying to say it in the right way. I think that there's a way around all of this, but just for one show or something that might not last a long time with a partnership, or if it's just something that you guys are looking to do on a regular basis, whether it's just for entertainment purposes or not, I think to save yourself some time and some hassle, I think it's always probably sometimes it's better to take things elsewhere.
Well, this he's looking at properties outside the area, and so it's going to, but we need probably the revenue from this particular one to launch another club in a different area. So,
okay.
So it's just one step at a time. I'm still honored that he wants me to run the comedy part of it. And it is because there's so many talented comedians. Why he chose me, I don't know. I do have funny videos, though. I have to say that. Anyway. So
promotion. You got to promote yourself.
Normal. So what can you do? So it will be okay. I think that the show will go on. The show will always go on. It may not necessarily be there, and that's cool. I had some opposition when I wanted to start a drag show in Plant City. Oh, they weren't having that at all. So they were like, no, the only fruit in Plant City are strawberries. That's what I was told.